Thinking back to my time as a kid, I realized my family was always one of bargain hunters. We didn't have a lot growing up. My mom raised my sister and I by herself while working long hours as a registered nurse. While we considered working poor, I guess, by the community and society, my mom did everything she could to make our childhood as happy as possible. I, as a kid of the 80s and 90s, that meant that I had to get all the stuff that I saw on the daily cartoons. And if you know anything about cartoons back then, we were bombarded with all types of commercials disguised as cartoons. From G.I. Joes to Transformers, from He-Man to Mask, I wanted it all. And I wanted it now. I was a deal maker as a kid myself. I would often run up to my mother with all types of crazy contracts, and maybe some of you out there did this yourself. You know, to do extra chores or perhaps forego a future present for a toy today, for a toy right now. You gotta buy. My mother, even though she didn't know the specific toys very well, she knew what was on sale and what was not. And she passed that on to me, where I grew up and became the percent off collector. Now, one place we always found great bargains and discounts, which was great for me, was at KB Toy Store. Now, this series isn't a history of KB Toy Stores. There are plenty of awesome series that you can find right here on YouTube. This is more of my memories of finding excellent bargains. And I created what was called a bingo book. I took the name from anime. It's basically what ninjas would use when they're going after their bounties. Well, I made a book of where I could find the best bargains for the toys that I wanted. And KB was just one of those places that I knew to target. Whenever I needed to get a toy, very cheap. Just in case you aren't familiar, KB Toy Store is an American chain of toy stores that were mainly found in malls. Now, while many people don't visit malls today, in the 80s and 90s, the mall was the place to be. You would go there and just hang out there all day. So with Toys R Us being the big player on the block, KB made a smart move by being in a place where a lot of parents and their kids passed by. You see, with Toys R Us, most of the time you had to specifically say, I was going to Toys R Us. With KB, you could just pass by and say, hey mom, look! Now, while Toys R Us was massive, KB Toy Store was smaller. But they knew the hot toys to carry, and they seemed to always have a good selection of the toys that kids wanted at the time. Right place, right time is what they call it, right? What I consider their claim to fame, and why my mother and I love them, is the fact that they often had sales and clearances that beat any of the other toy stores. If you're familiar with stores like Ross and Marshalls, you know that they're known for having great clearance prices for clothes. KB became known, at least to me, to be the place to find clearance prices for toys. If you were the kind of kid that had to have the latest toy right away, then perhaps you would go to Toys R Us first, because since they were so big, they often got the things right away and they usually had a big inventory. But if you were more like me, who had to wait for a discount or a sale or a clearance, then KB Toys was your heaven. KB Toys would often have sales throughout the year. They would have like Christmas in October, Christmas in July, all kinds of things like that. And seeing their ads in the Sunday paper was more exciting to me than reading the comics. Now, while they often had really good advertised deals in their Sunday's insert, it was the red marker deals that to me was the super claim to fame and made them like the best for deals. And I'll explain exactly what those red markers were. Walking through the mall, I would see the KB Toy Store and I would run right into it. And I immediately went looking for the G.I. Joes and Transformers. I knew the normal priced ones would not entice my mother to buy one. But those red marks, Man, that's what I hunted for. Honestly, I couldn't tell you the exact reason why some of the G.I. Joes that I saw got the red mark and other ones didn't. I would say it was just popularity or something, but I found G.I. Joes from Roadbot to Lifeline, and they were new, in good shape, no damage, but they were marked down from their normal price to like 99 cents. Same thing with Transformers. There would be some of the popular ones still marked off. Just in case you're not familiar, back then G.I. Joe action figures were around $3, could be $4, so to find them for 99 cents was awesome. It was easier to sell my mom on 99 cents than $3. And sometimes I was even able to convince her to get 3 of them, because I mean, 3 for the price of 1 is a great deal. Even she had to admit that. I mean, getting 3 G.I. Joes, I mean, for me, that was like Christmas and your birthday wrapped into one. As I got older, I found KB was a place to go for toys that were hot maybe the year before, or toys that were struggling to sell. I remember one of my prized purchases was a Nintendo Virtual Boy. Now, if you know anything about that, it was considered a failed portable. It was the one where you wore it on your head, or you're supposed to, or lean into it, and it was red, and people got headaches, and the games weren't that great. Well, I was able to get it at KB marked down to $9.99. It was marked down several times, and KB would often do that. They would red mark the same toy over and over, and you could see where they would change it from its original price to maybe half off to 75% off. It was crazy to just watch it. You could often guess which toy wasn't doing well or ran its course just by how many red marks were on the little price sticker. I honestly shopped there more than Toys R Us because of the bargains, and really only hit the Big Giraffe when I needed a new toy or a game that was coming out and I was worried it might be out of stock everywhere else. Sadly, by the time 2008 rolled around, there was so much competition, and with the internet and all those sales in the secondary market going on, KB went out of business. I will say, though at the time I was mainly into video games and not toys anymore, I did go to their closeout sale and I was able to pick up some toys just because, I mean, they were like 90% off, and even if I wasn't playing with them and wasn't really a collector yet, it was just too much of a deal to let go. Today, if you're looking online, it's the Rosses and Macy's of the world that may offer a clearance price, but their selection is far smaller. Often you go there, there'll be maybe 1 or 2. Of course, you can always search like Walmart, Target, Best Buy, GameStop, things like that, but at least as far as I'm concerned, nothing has matched what KB did back in the day, and that's why it's in my book. I want to know if you guys went out and shopped at KB stores back in the day, and what kind of deals that you found. Let us know. And if you like this video, please consider giving us a like and also subscribing. Letting us know that you like these kind of videos, because I like doing them. I like talking about bargains, and I'm more than happy to talk about more places in my bingo book where I found awesome deals. But until next time, thanks for watching.